Hey there, it's Sydney with Tastefully Frugal, and today we are going to be making a super easy project. This project is perfect for beginner crafters, but it's also a really fun project if you've been using Cricut for a while to make too. There's a ton of ways to customize it, and it's just a really great project. This is also the first project we'll be making out of the Pretty in Pink mystery box. If you're not familiar with the mystery box, I've linked in the description for this video the unboxing of it that shows you all the supplies. It comes with a bunch of supplies and blanks and tools so you can create up to 5 projects all in this one box. So we are going to be making these really fun brush stroke keychains. So if you're on TikTok or Instagram, I'm sure you've seen them around where you have the different brush strokes for the backgrounds, and then you can add names like I did on this one. I also did a Cricut cutie or a craft squad like you can see on this red one here. But there's a ton of ways to customize it, and it's a really fun project to work with since the paint swatches aren't like symmetrical. It doesn't matter if everything's lined up perfectly, which is one of the reasons I love it for beginners. It's just a really easy project to make. So the paint swatches that I'm using, I got off of design bundles, and the reason that I picked this bundle is because there's 20 different swatches available, and you can upload them all into Design Space at once, so you can see how each swatch or brush stroke looks with the design that you want to do. So I've linked in the description for the video as well the brush strokes bundle, and then if you want to make these exact keychains that we're making, I've linked all of the materials as well as the Design Space canvas. So if you wanted to make like this keychain here, but you wanted to say your name and have your initial, you can go into the Design Space and change the initial and the name super easily. So I've linked all of that in the description of this video, but let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start in Design Space to show you how to upload these brush strokes and then also show you how to do the design around them. We are going to be making this project on the Cricut Joy today, but you can make these keychains on any cutting machine. So let's hop into Design Space and get started. Okay, let's first show you how to download these files from Design Bundle. So I'm going to click Download Files, and then I will click the file that pops up at the bottom, and then just click Save. I am going to save this on my desktop just so it's easier for me to show you how to access files in a zip folder and easily find it. So we have it downloaded. Here is the zip folder on our desktop, and when you open it, this is what you'll see. You'll just click the folder and then click SVG. And then, like I mentioned, I really like this this bundle because it gives you the access to have all of the brushstrokes in one SVG file. So we have that file with all the bundles saved on our desktop. We are going to open up Design Space and then upload that. So just click the upload button on the right or the left toolbar, click Upload Images, and then we are going to find our image right now and click Open. You can see here are all the brush strokes. It's a cut file, and then we're going to change the name of it to brush strokes, so that way I can easily find it again in the future. Once it's saved, you'll just select it and then click Insert Images. And there you have all of your brush strokes on your canvas. So I'm going to change the visibility. Instead of 100%, we'll change it down to about 50% so I have more room to work. And as you can see, each individual brush stroke is on there so that we can select each one. I just click the Ungroup option in the top right toolbar, and then I can select which one of the brush strokes I want to work with. So we'll do the heart, and then we'll do this purple brush stroke right here, and then we'll do this blue one. So we have our brush strokes. Now let's add the text or the images we want. So the first one we'll do is the Craft Squad. So I'm just searching Craft Squad under Images. And if you click this little information button, this I button down in the bottom right corner, it will give you information on that image, but it also lets you select the image set. So this is a really fun way to see other like images or designs that are similar. But we're going to just use this Craft Squad design. So we have the Craft Squad. I am going to click Attach. It was in 2 layers, but we only want it to cut in one. So I just have both layers selected, and I selected Attach. Then we're going to make the brush stroke a little bit bigger, size the Craft Squad so it fits over it. It's okay to be a little bit bigger than the brush stroke. That's what we want. We're going to select all 3 layers and then click Align align center, make sure it's centered, and then we're going to click group so that we can move everything around, but not all 3 pieces are attached. Next, let's add the cutie. So I'm just going to search Cricut cutie. And as you can see, there are quite a few Cricut cuties, but there's also, when you search Cricut cutie, the word cutie comes up a lot. So we have quite a few images to scroll through, lots to choose from. But let's see if we can get to the one that I want. I think we're almost there. Okay, there is the one I want. So we're just going to select it and click Insert Image. We'll move it over to the center of the canvas, and then we'll move our brush stroke over and make it bigger so that we can move our little cutie on top. And then we'll make him a little bit bigger. And now I forgot to do this earlier, but I'm going to change the color of all of the cuts to what color I want them to be cut out on vinyl. So that's way it's easier for me to know what needs to be cut on each mat. So we have the craft squad changed. I'm also going to change the heart to red. Oh, I had everything selected. So we'll just select the craft squad, change that back to white. Our cutie's white, and then the blue brush stroke is the brush stroke that we'll do. Now this has multiple lines on the cutie, so we're going to contour out the outline and the outline of the arms so that it's just one piece that gets cut. So there you can see, instead of having the outline, it's just one piece. And then again, we're going to select both the cutie and the brush stroke, and we're going to click Align Center, and then Attach, and we'll move him over. Now, let me show you how to add the name and the initial. So let's go to text, and we will just add that first initial S. We'll go up to fonts, and I'm going to do the watermelon font. This is like my go-to. Watermelon and Magnolia Sky are my go-to script fonts for just about everything. So we'll change it to that. We will resize the S so that it basically takes up from top to bottom of the brush stroke. Change the color from black to gray. And then we'll change the brush stroke from purple to pink, since we'll be doing it in that fluorescent pink. And now we're just going to add the name. And this font that I'm using is called DJ Flirt. It's one of the Cricut fonts that I really like as well. So we just change the font name to DJ Flirt. And then we will center that so it's centered horizontally on the brush stroke. Change the color to white. And then select all 3 of those layers, the brush stroke, the letter S, and the name, align those centered, and then attach. So we have our 3 designs ready to go. Let's go ahead and get rid of the brush strokes because we don't need the rest of those. But now we need to size them so they fit on the keychains. So we're going to go to Shapes and add a circle. And then we'll just change the size of that circle up here to 2.5 inches because that's how big our circle acrylic keychain is. So once we have our 2.5 inch circle, we'll move our first brushstroke design over it. We will click move forward so that we can move this to the front, or send to front, sorry, not move forward. And that way we can size our brushstroke so that it fits on our circle. Once you have it sized, just go ahead and move it over, and then we will use the same circle for the other 2 designs as well. So let's find those designs. All right, here we go. So we will, okay, we're gonna zoom in so you can see everything. Let's start with the craft squad. We're going to go arrange and then send to front again so that we can make it smaller and we can see it on top of that circle. Make it a little bit smaller. All right, that looks good to go. So we're good to go with the craft squad. Now let's get our cutie brush stroke. Again, we'll go to arrange, send to front so that it is in front of the circle so we can make sure that we don't make it too big or too small. Okay, looks like we are good there. All right, and then we're just going to get rid of that circle because we don't need the circle cut. It was just a reference point so that we made these images big enough. So once you click make it, since we're using the joy, we need to select what mat we are, or how we're going to cut it. We'll select on mat since we're not using a smart material. And then you'll see that it shows you all of the mats or all the different colors. So I do like to scroll through just to make sure that I have everything and everything's on the right mat, and then click continue. Then you'll want to just select your machine and select your material. Now I'm using the StarCraft HD mat for the plain colors, and then the red and pink are the fluorescent StarCraft Magic Deceit. So for the HD matte, cut it on premium vinyl. For the magic, I like to cut it on the premium holographic. It works great. So let's go to the premium vinyl. And then since those white cuts are pretty small, I'm going to change the pressure to less so that it doesn't cut up the vinyl. But let's go ahead and head over to our Joy and get started cutting. Okay, so I have already cut down all of the pieces to size. I like to use the paper trimmer that Cricut has, and then I will just look at the preview screen for each of the mats and just cut the pieces down so they're a little bit bigger than what's needed on the mat. And then you just load your vinyl face up, so you have your color side up on your standard grip mat, and then follow the prompts in Design Space. When you are working with a Cricut Joy, you do need to load, unload, and begin the cut in Design Space. There's no buttons on the Joy to do that, so just make sure you have your Design Space close. Next, we're going to weed our designs. This pin pen that I'm using here to weed is so handy when it comes to weeding smaller pieces. It just makes getting these little pieces out. And this little vinyl holder you can get on Amazon. I'll link it in the description for this video. Makes it super handy when you are weeding small pieces as well to get that vinyl that you don't need off of your pin pen or whatever you're using to weed. And so it doesn't stick to everything else. Once we have all of our designs weeded, then we will get our transfer tape cut down to size and apply our transfer tape to each piece. I just cut a piece of transfer tape that was 3 inches wide, or 3 inches long by 12 inches wide, and I'm just measuring each design and cutting the transfer tape down to size with those designs. And then I will peel off the transfer tape and use the squeegee on the front and the back to attach the transfer tape to all of the pieces. I am using the Caesar Easy PSV transfer tape that comes in that mystery box. I've linked it in the description of the video as well. You can order it either by the roll or by the sheet on 143 vinyl. But this transfer tape is really great to work with. It's not too sticky, and it's really easy to get your material to stick to the transfer tape and also to be able to remove the transfer tape from whatever you're pressing it on. So in this case, the keychain. Then I'm going to use the pin pen to remove the backing from the acrylic keychain. With this plain color, I'm going to do the paint brush stroke on one side, and I'm just using the squeegee here to get a little bubble out. And then I will do the cutie on the other side. One thing I like about the StarCraft HD vinyl is it's the same color on the back as it is the front, so you can do you can have it be on two different sides. Because the StarCraft Magic Deceit is silver on the back, we're going to do all of these layers on one side. So we'll start with a brush stroke, put this one on, and then we will layer on our initial next. And then once we have the initial on, we'll do the name, and then we'll just peel the white backer off of the back of this keychain as well. But as you can see, this StarCraft Easy PSV transfer tape is super easy to work with, and it makes getting your design from the backing to your project very, very easy. It's one of my favorite transfer tapes to work with. So we'll just remove that backing, and then we have our keychains done. Now let's add the keychain hardware. This jewelry tool you can get from 143 Vinyl, and you can use it to open up the hooks to put, either if you're using the link tools like you do for the keychains, or for the what are they called, little oh my gosh, tassels, there we go. But the tool makes it really easy to get those open, and then you just use, once you have your keychain in there, you just use the center part there in the middle, just clasp the two edges together to close it, and you have your keychain, there we go, you have your keychain attached. Let's make sure we don't have any open sides so that the keychain doesn't fall apart. Once you have that, then you can open up the connector with the plier part, add your tassel, and then add the tassel to the larger keychain. And then once it's added to the larger keychain, again, you'll use the straight, the center part of the tool, the straight part, to close that gap and add the tassel to your keychain. And there you have it. Super easy, super fun keychains. So whether you're making keychains for yourself, whether you're making them for gifts, or even if you're making them to sell, this is a great project for anyone. If you do have a shop, this is a really affordable project to make and sell. The keychains themselves are less than $1. You can use vinyl scraps for the vinyl, and the tassels you can also get on 143 vinyl. So really, you're looking at maybe $2 worth of supplies, and you can sell them for $5 to $10. So if you have a shop, this is definitely a product that you might want to list in your shop. But if you have any questions about the process, anything that we did, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As I mentioned earlier, I have linked the bundle for the brush strokes from Design Bundles in the description of this video, as well as the Design Space canvas. So if you wanted to make these exact designs, it's super easy to do. And I've linked all of the products that we used as well in the description for the video. If you are shopping on 143 Vinyl, go ahead and use code T as in Tom, F as in Frank, 5, or Tastefully Frugal 5, to save 5% site-wide. And I would love to have you subscribe to Tastefully Frugal for more Cricut tips, tricks, and tutorials. Have a great day.